Everyone, thank you very much for joining another CloudTask Marketplace Skillbridge. My name is Danny, and let's get into it. So, as we always get started, guys, we're going to discuss what's needed in order to be activated in the marketplace. What do you need to obtain that top-rated badge? And what's the difference between top-rated plus, right? So, let me start sharing screens. But as you guys know, the first thing that you see, let it be on social media, right? LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, right? There's a picture, there's a profile picture in between. Now, some of you have gotten, really good at adding your most professional headshot, professional headshot. Let it be, where you currently were working, maybe use a little bit of AI, but nonetheless, if we can scroll down, you guys will see, let's go with Steve, right? I think Steve was already filtered on by Steve. So let's exit out of there. All right. So we have Mariana, we have Paz. Now, between Mariana's headshot and Paz's, I would say Mariana's looks a lot more professional, right? So as we go down, we have Chevelle. All right. We have Jody. We have Haney. Sheldon, my man Sheldon definitely went above and beyond, wearing his suit. Jose Roberto. So again, guys, you see a trend in professional pictures. That's the first thing they're going to see, right? So why not try and, dress to impress on that day? So professional pictures, guys, is a must. Secondly, right next to your picture, as you guys can see, a title: Operations Manager, Service Delivery Optimization and Account Management Professional with 3.5 years managing Fortune 500 client operation. All right, Abigail, I think you did a really good job having that title. Some of you guys are listing the role you previously held. Some of you are listing your first name and that's it, when, clearly Abigail, we'll see right here. So remember, guys, this title should be more of a positioning statement, opening statement about what you've done in the past as far as roles. Yes, you can mention roles, but more importantly, what industries you service, if there's any type of success metrics you can share, right? How much money have you generated for the company? How much money have you saved for them, right? So numbers talk. Make sure you put that in your title. So we have professional picture. We have a good impacting title. We want to make sure we look different from the crowd. So be as specific as you can. Thirdly, your About Me section. Make sure there's at least a paragraph or two. Some of you are going 3-4 full essay mode, right? I would say a paragraph or two is just will do its justice, because again, most hiring leaders are not going to read a full essay, right? So make sure you're not putting one sentences or two. Make sure you're not doing a full essay, but a paragraph, meaning 4 sentences to up to 2 paragraphs. So we have potentially 8, right? And that should be enough for you guys to list out, once again, the technology, the roles, people you've managed, what type of training you've done, what type of degrees, what type of courses and certificates you've been able to get, right? This is the opportunity where we're going to discuss more of that professional background. I applaud everyone that is open enough to speak about their personal and professional. But again, if your About Me section is looking more like, hey, this is Danny Gadello. This is Danny. You shouldn't mention your last name. This is Danny, currently living in Medellin, Colombia, a father of 3, love cats, love playing rugby. For the last 3 years, I've gone to the, pizza festival. We don't want to discuss too much about our personal, but it is a good thing when you're able to mention 1 or 2 things and then go straight to your professional experience, guys. Now, work experience. This, in my honest opinion, is the second most important thing on your profile. The first is your video. The second is your work experience. As much effort that you're putting into your work experience, that's going to determine how many interviews you're going to potentially get, right? So if you guys are listing 1 or 2 sentences for your description, right? So we have an example, operations manager. I think this is still Abigail. So operations manager, she could have placed, I was currently overseeing a team in the manufacturing space. That's it. Some candidates are leaving it at just that. I know some of you guys are working, maybe you're traveling, right? But at the end of the day, you need to go back to your profile and give it some love. All right. So, Abigail, really good job giving your profile some love. I understand exactly what you were doing. And you know what? Even if you were using some type of chat GPT AI to help you out, that's always going to be a plus, guys. As remote candidates, we got to get prepared for what's around the corner, right? So if you guys are holding on to those crutches of, hey, I'm really good on the phones and sending out emails, but you're not working on, getting your tech skills up, right? What type of tools are out there when it comes to automation? What can I do to better myself as a rep? There's other candidates doing it right now. And again, that's where you can see a difference between not only their business acumen and the way they're able to sell themselves, but also how much they're able to, charge on a monthly basis. So keep that in mind. Operations manager, operations leadership, oversee day-to-day operations for a line of business with 200 customer service consultants, ensuring efficient workflow and high service quality. Performance management. So again, we got some numbers here. Is consistently meeting and exceeding KPIs by 15%. All right. Cross department collaboration. So again, guys, there's some good information here. Now, recommendation, keeping it up to a paragraph, right? When it gets to overload of too many words, once again, as a hiring leader, I might be overwhelmed. I'm going to read the first two. And if those first three sentences impact me as a hiring leader, I'm going to go on to your next experience and I'm going to book that interview, right? So quickly, let's move on. Customer success manager, performance accountability, manage a team of 15 customer service consultants, achieve 100% attainment of client targets. Hey, I'm seeing numbers here. I'm going to want to interview you and call you out on that and ask you, how are you able to achieve 100% attainment? So make sure you're able to, not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. So if you do get on these interviews and you're placing all these great KPI, hey, I helped the company generate over $500,000 in just 3 months. They're going to ask you about that, right? So be prepared. Be prepared. Just giving you that heads up. And then finally, let's check out another customer success manager profile. Good. So we have up to 3. Guys, 3 work experiences on your profile looks a lot better, right? Some of you guys are literally placing 1, 2. Not saying 3 is the golden number that you're going to get 5 interviews on a weekly basis, but it looks a lot better, looks more complete. If you have over 5 years, 10 years, 12, 20 years of experience, list it. We don't have a limit on how much work experience you can add in there. Now, what I would say is keep it as relevant, right? Most recent. Back in the day, I've worked at Mickey D's. I've worked in the hotel industry as a bellboy, as a receptionist, right? I've kept on my CV the receptionist portion. The Mickey D's, I haven't really brought it up. So again, if you're still kind of green into this remote work and your last job was at a retail store, you need to place that, right? You can't have it empty. But all I'm saying is, if your experience goes way back, make sure that we put the most relevant and recent experiences. That's it. So Abigail, good job on the way you listed your work experience. And now, not going to deep dive too much on her video, but just want to quickly see how long was it, what's the length, and how does it look? Is it horizontal, vertical, right? So again, guys, horizontal is always going to be the format that we suggest. Let's not do it selfie mode, right? If you guys are holding on to, I know some of you are placing it somewhere and still doing it selfie mode, just flip it, make sure that you're able to capture the entire head and shoulders in frame. If you're doing some light hand movements, it'll look a lot better. And yeah, at the end of the day, horizontally, it looks way better. Let's check it out and see how long the video is.
Hi.
All right. So it's vertical, not the end of the day, not the end of the world. But what I like about it is very well dressed, right? Abigail looks like she's ready for an interview. So kudos to that. Now it is 3 minutes. 3 minutes. All right. Okay. 60 seconds to 2 minutes is what we recommend. You get to 3 minutes, not the end of the day. So if you go 5 minutes, 6 minutes, you probably want to go back on that video and see if there's anything that you would like to, make sure you mention within the first 60 seconds to 2 minutes, right? We know that hiring leaders are not going to pay attention after the 2 minute mark, 3 minute mark. So keep that in mind. So we have well-dressed. It's not horizontal, it's vertical. Okay. But the video is 3 minute long. That's fine. Now, Abigail has a top rated badge. So she's not only activated, but she has a top rated badge. Let's check that out and see. So we saw the title, good title. We have an about me section, great. We have work experience, great. Video, awesome. She didn't mention her last name. Now I'll stop sharing on this specific screen. And what I want to do is show you guys actually the profiles that are inactive. That way we can kind of see why are they inactive and why is this person like Abigail with a top rated badge. So quickly share once again. Right. All right, awesome. So as you guys can see right here at the very top, we have our candidate profiles. I am toggling off the inactive ones, right? So checking out, if we have Junior here, CJ, no picture, you're not activated, right? You don't have, I'm pretty sure, if you don't have a picture, you probably don't have work experience. All right, never mind. Never mind. I apologize. So CJ actually listed his work experience, right? But no picture, no video. You can't be activated, right? So as you can see, people are creating their profiles, but based on X or Y reasons, right? Either you guys found a job, you're currently working, and you're slow to update your profile. Make sure that you don't just submit the profile you created. You go back into it, you add a picture, professional picture, a title, right? So CJ, you're not active because of that. Now, professional pictures, you guys are the ones to determine. I just want to see if there's one or two here that I saw. I actually saved it already. Here we go. It is Fahad. So Fahad, love the shades, right? I like the shades, but this would be an example of not a professional picture, right? This is good for Instagram, Facebook, anything else besides looking for a job. Let's see here with Renee. I actually just sent Renee a message because I checked out her video. Great video, well dressed, really professional, but she hasn't added her work experience. She hasn't added a title. So it seems like she quickly created the profile, did the video, which is the hardest thing, right? I noticed that most of you guys are doing everything right first, and the video is typically the last thing to that you guys are doing. So again, Renee sent you a message. Hopefully you respond back. So, but good picture, right? Good professional picture. We got my man. I don't want to mispronounce or butcher your name, so I'm going to give you a nickname, Ojun. So my man Ojun, t-shirt, not the end of the world, but if we have the opportunity to make ourselves look as professional as possible, we definitely want to make sure we are going above and beyond, right? And then the last thing around the profile picture that I want to lightly state is, guys, even if you guys are serious individuals, you're not accustomed to smiling as much, energy, even on your video and a picture, right? So I want to bucket that all in one. Energy, the way that you project says a lot. So on the video, some of you guys are feeling under the weather. I can tell, right? Seems like you're a little you have a cold, you're sick. I would retake it. I love the fact that you guys are going ahead and saying, hey, I don't care if I'm sick. I don't care if I'm having problems today. I'm going to do the video. Now, that should not be your final draft, because the energy that you are projecting on the video says a lot. So some of you guys are like, hey, how come I'm not getting any interview requests? And it's like, have you seen your video? You look like you want to fight someone. So on those videos, on the pictures, if you're not smiling, let's change it up. Let's make sure we have a professional picture that, again, is looks like I am happy, basically, right? So there's quite a few pictures that, again, it seems like, on our school day, they caught us off guard. We took that picture. Hey man, this is the best I got. I'm going to work with it. Make sure you guys are putting in the effort. I think that's what summarizes that the best. Make sure you guys are putting in the effort. Yeah, I would say that's it. That's it for the profiles on what's activated and top rated. Now, top rated to top rated plus. The biggest difference here is top rated plus. It is now a higher bar when it comes to your English level and your work experience. So if you're not a C1, which is near native, right? If you guys aren't accustomed to A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, the near native would basically be a C1 advanced, right? Then C2 is basically the same as native. To be a top rated plus, that's the English level that you would need to have. Now, for experience, there's a little bit more variability here. If you have over 3 years of work experience, you're C1, C2, you're way closer on getting that top rated plus badge. Now, what'll make it at that, if your profile is complete with everything we have just discussed, a good title, impacting title, a good about me section, work experience. If you have all of that plus a C1, C2, and 3+ years, you're getting that top rated badge, right? And as you guys know, if you have top rated plus badges, you're able to apply directly to the opportunities. You no longer have to wait and be reactive for a company to say, hey, I saw Danny's profile, CloudTask, I'd like to set up an interview. You can go ahead and start applying. So yeah, that is the difference. What is needed to be activated, what's needed to be top rated, and what's needed to be a top rated plus. All right. Now, guys, want to go into our do's and don'ts before we get into our success story. As you guys know, we will be sharing a positive interview between a candidate and a hiring company here in the marketplace. But before that, let's get into some do's and don'ts. So do's and don'ts during the interview phase. Make sure you guys are there early. You guys are getting on these interviews early. You guys are accepting your calendar invitations. I'm not sure why you guys don't get into the habit of doing that, right? It not only lets us as the marketplace know that you guys are indeed showing up to the interviews, but it gets you into the habit of, accepting invitations once you do land the job, right? If you land a job with a company and you haven't accepted their invitation and you get there late, that's already, a few points deducted. So make sure you guys are accepting the invitations. Of course, if you're able to make it. If not, let us know. We'll reschedule. But accept the invitations. Show us, digitally that you are either going to show up or not. You need to reschedule. Make sure you guys are showing up on time, and on time means 10 minutes, 15 minutes early. That would definitely be the number one rule. If you get there on time, you're early. If you're there 15 minutes early, hey, you're right on time. So make sure you guys are dressed to impress. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but at the end of the day, if you did all this work for a nice professional picture, a good video introduction, and then on your interview, you show up in a t-shirt, a tank top, your hair's not well done, you haven't shaved, right? It's not going to be the best interaction, right? So make sure that we're dressed to impress. Guys and girls, you guys are turning on your cameras. No excuses. You should not be having a remote interview with your camera off, right? So let's be resourceful. If you're kind of nervous and, oh crap, what am I going to do? What's going on? Grab your cell phone. Hey, can you hear me? You can't hear me. Give me 1 second. You keep the camera on. You log in on your phone. Your phone is now your mic. Vice versa. If your laptop's camera's not working, you speak through it. Hey, sorry about that, Jody. I'm having an issue with my camera. Give me just 30 seconds. Let me just quickly troubleshoot this. It's going to show live how resourceful you are, how you can handle an uncomfortable situation. And yes, if you are shy and you don't want to turn on your camera, guys, we should have a separate call, a one-on-one, so I can help you guys get out of that cocoon, because you're not going to be successful in a remote environment if you're too shy to turn on the camera. All right, so keep that in mind. What else can I say? Some more do's during the interview phase. Make sure you guys do research before joining the interview. If you guys want to keep the company website on one of your screens, if you only have one screen, do it. We've had individuals, we've had candidates done that in the past, and it's always a positive. So research about a company before the interview. Now, some of you guys might procrastinate for the last 15 minutes. If that's how you do things better, fine. If you do it the day before, awesome. And then you do a little, another refresher before the interview, awesome. But make sure you guys know what it is they do. If they ask you, hey, so what did you research about us? Why do you want to work with us? What did you learn about us? And then your answer is, I know you guys are in software. That's going to be the most general. It's not a wrong answer, but it's not making you guys stand out from the crowd. Standing out from the crowd is an individual that's going to say, hey, I noticed that you guys have 4 different products. You got the XY version, the CX version. And yeah, as of now, soft testimonials see that you guys are working more in the healthcare space. Not sure if you guys are going to be dabbling elsewhere, but yeah, I see that you guys are software helping both clinics and patients do XYZ. Is that right? Did I get that right? That's going to look a lot better. And guys, you don't need to become subject matter experts. You don't have to go to school and now study 3 days, pull an all-nighter just to feel more comfortable with what it is they do. Know what product or service or both that they offer. Check out a video, maybe a quick little YouTube video, an intro video. They have a video on their website, right? That's going to help you out a lot. And then once again, you can always ask CloudTask, hey guys, did I get this right? But at the end of the day, if you guys are doing your research, you're coming into that interview a lot more confident and comfortable. All right. And it tends to happen. What do you know about us? So it's a really good opportunity for you guys to do some research. Now, finally, make sure you guys have some impacting questions. Impacting questions, again, is helping you guys stand out from the crowd. If someone asks you, hey, thank you so much for your time, do you have any questions for me? And the answer is no. There's definitely an area of opportunity where you can definitely ask a quick question that gauges your curiosity and also allows you to look like a consultant, because that's what makes you look different. If you're a remote candidate that's actually giving advice about tools, processes, who you should reach out to, what ICP, what's worked for you in the past. If you're able to do that, you don't look like a contractor, right? You look like a consultant, someone that they're not only going to pay a monthly wage, but they're also going to be able to, get valuable information from you guys. So with that being said, have impacting questions. Impacting questions vary based on the roles that you guys are looking for. But again, few examples, if you're in the sales space, hey, as of now, who is our ICP? How long is our average sales cycle? There's a lot of quick questions that you guys can ask that gauge your curiosity. Now, there's been way better questions that if you actually take the time to think about and you actually did your research about the company, you'll be able to, come up with a better question. But make sure you're leaving the interview with at least 1 or 2 impacting questions. And if you ever ask a question and the person says, oh, wow, that's a great question, I don't know the answer to that, I'm actually going to speak with my team. That's already a sign that you did a really good job with that impacting question. And then to finalize, make sure you guys don't reschedule interviews an hour before. If it's an emergency, I get it. You guys determine what an emergency is, but we are just going to relay that message over to the hiring company. And I will be honest, when companies get a hint of BS, there is no rescheduling. So if you're one of those people that are reaching out to the CloudTask Market, hey man, I need a job, I'm looking for a job, and we get you that interview and you reschedule an hour before, just know that it's not us. The company decided that they're not going to be moving forward, and that's it. If there is a no-show, if you don't show up, you don't even let the CloudTask team know, you don't send an email, you don't send a WhatsApp, you just don't show up. The reason, to not call it an excuse, needs to be very valid. And once again, we'll share that with the company. But I've seen that 92%, 93% of the time, no shows never get a reschedule. All right, guys. So those would be a few do's and don'ts. During the interview phase, I want to briefly say one or two more once you get hired. So, guys, when you get hired, you may feel very comfortable with your new, company, but asking for an advance, asking for a loan, anything that has to do with money, finances, when you're first getting into a role, that would be a no-no. You guys are free to do as you wish. We're just sharing that this is not something you should do, especially with a new contractor, a new employer. We all have issues, we all have problems, but at the end of the day, you should, that's something either family or the bank will be able to help us out on. So advances, payments up front when you just start in a company, that's a no-go. All right. Secondly, if you just got started with the company and things are a bit slow, don't take this as a good sign. Take this as a sign that you need to be extra proactive. You need to reach out to the company. You need to be in front of their face. Hey, my tools, I'm waiting for my email. Hey, I'm still waiting for my list. I haven't been enabled. I'm waiting for the trainer. So make sure that you guys are over communicating if you feel that within the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks of onboarding, things are a bit slow. Do not see that as a positive. Most likely you will be let go if they do not see a proactive bone out of you come out. So wanted to share that as well. Make sure if you guys are getting the job, we work hard on keeping it. So be proactive, guys. Be proactive. To my statement before, hiring leaders are hiring for consultants. They don't want someone to just sit around and wait for them to get either a list, for them to get an email sent to them. They want people to propose new things. So those would be a few do's and don'ts when you actually land a job. Now, let's get into a success story where now Maria and Lee have an interview, right? She is going after a customer success role. She'll be showcasing demos, presentations, right? So it's not, I know the other interviews we've done before have been SDR, account manager. This one would be more of a customer success manager / onboarding specialist, right? So let's check it out.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Maria. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You see me okay? Hear me okay?
Yes, I can now.
Good. Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining and applying. So yeah, I was very impressed with your experience that I've seen on your CloudTask profile. So yeah, pleased to meet you to discuss that.
Yes, I was super excited to have this conversation with you. So yes, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll tell you a little bit about.
All right, so I'll make a quick pause there. So 50 seconds in, and what can we see? Maria was there before Lee. Lee seems to have a few internet issues, so the lag is not coming on my end, but hey, it happens, right, in the remote work. But it's happening now for the hiring company. If it was happening for you, yeah, I mean, it's not a good sign, right? We got to make sure that our internet connection is stable. If you guys as candidates can run a quick little speed test before the interview, hey, that's going to be even better. Maybe you got to shout, to your wife, your kids, your mom, hey, can you guys get off the internet real quick? I have a really important meeting, right? So make sure that you guys have really good internet, especially during that interview and obviously throughout the time that you're working remotely. So with Lee, like I said, she was on there before Lee had to jump off. He jumped back on, but at the end of the day, she was there early, already, brownie points for that. She's well dressed professionally. The layout, right? The place that she took the call from, seems like it's she's going to be able to have a good interview, right? If you guys are taking it from your car, you're in a convention. We've had candidates, right, take those interviews. So I know it kind of goes back on what I said before, like, hey, I was in a doctor's appointment. I'm on my way now to my house. I got caught in traffic. Danny, you said don't reschedule, and that's why I'm taking the call from a car, right? So hey, I think that looks a lot better, right? If you had a doctor's appointment, you're currently working, right? If you're currently working, guys, and now you're getting home and you had to take the call from your car, I think that's a plus, right? I'm just emphasizing that Maria was able to take it from, where she currently works, which is her home. So good job there. Professional attire. She was there early. Cool stuff. Now this is a little bit different because now Lee is going to explain about his company, right? Typically, we do see companies ask what they know and then they will explain a little bit more, but that's fine. We won't actually, go into, the explanation, right? We're actually going to fast forward over to what Maria says on her intro. So give me 1 second.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself and what your experience?
Yes, for sure. So I can tell you about me. I'm 31 years old. I live in Medellin, Colombia. I've been working as an SDR and account executive over the past 10 years. So I do have really good experience. I've been doing more like account executive plus onboarding, since what I've been doing, for example, in my last experience, I had to close the deals. I was actually doing prospecting. I was booking the demo, I was closing the deal, and I was taking care of my own customers. So I was doing all roles together.
Sounds like me.
Yeah,
like me.
it was actually
SpendHound?
funny. It's SpendHound,
Yeah.
yes. It was at a SpendHound. It is a vendor management platform. So I actually had a really good time. We had SDRs booking leads for us as well. But since I had a really big, like high quota, I started to do it by myself. So to do my own prospecting.
And is this SpendHound?
Yes, a SpendHound is a vendor management platform.
Yeah. So vendor management, so you put all your suppliers on there and it works out the savings and things like that.
Yeah, so you connect your ERP, like your accounting software, and then SpendHound is going to let you know all of the software subscriptions that you have, when it's coming, the renewals, and it's going to give you also price benchmarking data.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
thing is that platform is free, so that's a big point.
Yeah. And how did the demo process go? What was the sales cycle?
Yes. So as soon as I got a demo from my SDR, or because I was able to book it myself, I had to jump on a demo, introduce myself, do a little pre-qualification to understand how they were tracking and managing software subscriptions, if they had any type of renewal reminder or anything. Then after the discovery session to understand their challenges and where we can go and fit there, I introduced myself. I gave like an overview of SpendHound, and then I shared the screen so I could show like a little deck of our solution with why we're free, a little bit of history about the platform, and then I shared the screen to show a SpendHound, like a demo of a SpendHound. But does it look like?
Okay.
Yes.
And that was all on one call.
Yeah, I was in one call. Sometimes you could close in one call if it was the decision maker and it was the admin of the ERP. If not, then my definitely was like a follow up. Okay, so let me know, what do you think? What are your thoughts? And I would love to set next steps if you're interested, or if we need to involve anybody else on the call. And then I was doing the follow ups and then closing the deal later.
Okay. And so was that like a video call using Zoom or Google Meet or something like that?
Yes, Zoom link all the time, like video calls all the time.
Yeah. Okay. And then you mentioned you had a high target. What's the price point of this?
It's free.
How much does it cost? Oh, it's free.
Yeah,
That's
it was
okay.
When I tell you it's free, maybe you're gonna think, oh, it's easy to sell. It's not at all, because your data is exposed. So when you connect your ERP, when you connect your accounting software, you give permission to SpendHound to use your software spend to build reports that we sell to other investors. So when you tell that to a CFO, they're not happy about that.
No. All right. Okay. So, and what was your quote? You said you had a quota there. What was that?
But so the people that I was selling to, my quota, I'm sorry. So I had to
sorry,
sell
your quota,
8 a month. 8 a month.
8 a month. Yeah, it's
Yes.
to a week. And did you hit that?
Yes. Actually, I was
Yeah.
able to hit 11, 12.
Yeah. Okay. And what happened? How come you're no longer there?
Yes. So the issues that for the last 3 months, I had some issues with my commissions and my clients. And I was like presenting that to my manager. He didn't give me any solution. And when it comes to my commissions, super strict because that's the reason why I work with sales. And so even though I spoke to him, I didn't get any solution. And then I went to spoke to his manager because I wanted to understand why I was getting I was not getting paid for the full amount of customers I was closing. I think
Okay.
he didn't like it, and then we started to have a really bad relationship. And the last month, I definitely didn't like it. And one day I said to him, and he said, like, the doors are open for you in case you don't like it. And yeah, I understood that was not the right place for me.
Right. Okay. And how did the commission work there? Or how should it?
All right. So quick parentheses there. Now, the questions that come up from Lee, right, are, also was that demo presentation, was it always on video? So a little area of opportunity I'd say for Maria is if you know that the role that you're being interviewed for has to do with demo presentation, has to do with video calls, right, onboarding clients, being able to show them a deck, right? That's what you should flow into on that intro when he's asking you, or when a hiring company is asking you. And like Lee's doing, he's actually sharing screens. And oh, you were at SpendHound here. Okay, here's their website. Okay, so this is them. Very visual person, and he wants to, ask. He wants to ask specific questions on each role that she's had, and that's the flow that he goes into the interview. We're not going to go, experience per experience, but I want to, pause on this piece and just state that she did a good job on the intro, but there was an opportunity where she could mention a bit more about, what platform was she using to have these demos, what type of, how long were the demos taking. She did mention, she's doing anything from discovery and then also getting them signed up. Something I really liked that Maria did was, as soon as she said it was free, you can see Lee's like, oh, and she immediately addressed the elephant in the room and said, hey, I know you believe this is easy, but when you actually have to get someone to be okay with sharing their data, because we sell that data now to other companies and they have to be well aware about that, it's not as easy as you think. Some people actually prefer to pay instead of allowing us to, sell their data, right? So I like the fact that she was able to flip that, because yeah, usually if you're in this position, a company wants to know, oh, okay, so you've been selling, great. How much were you selling on a monthly basis? Oh no, it was free. Oh, right. That's always going to be, how they're going to feel. But the way that Maria positioned it, immediately addressed the elephant in the room, I think was very well done. Another hard question that usually comes up on an interview is, hey, if you were doing so great, why are you no longer there? Right. So this is an opportunity where either you guys succeed really well or fail. The ones that succeed are able to be honest, but in a professional manner, let them know why they're no longer there. So what I got from Maria was, hey, I'm a commissions driven individual. If I'm told that I can earn X amount of money and I get to that limit, and now the company is the one that's not, actually paying out on what we have already signed on, I don't feel comfortable, continuing with an organization like that. So I started looking elsewhere. That looks a lot better than, yeah, you know what? They didn't pay me my money. So I said, I'm out, right? Very different. Sometimes when you guys fail, you guys get so comfortable with the person interviewing, or maybe not even comfortable. Maybe you just get so nervous and you just blurb out the first thing that comes to your head, right? So be cautious about that. I believe that the way that Maria handled this tough question, which is why are you no longer there, was very well done, right? And these type of questions will come up. I mean, you guys, I know it's hard to be prepared, right? And know what they're going to ask, but yeah, being ready to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation is the best you can do. So if they ask you, have you ever sold software? And the answer is no, you don't have to say no. You can say not yet, right? because that's usually what they want to hear. Hey, I noticed on your resume you've never sold in the healthcare space. Hey, that's right, I haven't, not yet. But what I was doing in the X space. And honestly, sales is the same at the end of the day. Just the only thing that changes is the product or service. You got to get a little bit more knowledge. So the way that you're able to get over a difficult question is also what they're gauging. All right, throw a little curveball at this individual. Let's see if they're able to, get out of that in a professional way. So again, good job to Maria, being able to professionally answer these questions. And again, the interview went so well that at the end, what Lee wants to do is have a final call where she is going to now do a little bit of studying about outreach, Lee, and now she's going to present a demo to Lee, right? And that was the interview. Now, while I continue, I'm just going to stop sharing. When you guys get off of these interviews, something you should definitely do if you really like the opportunity is see if there's any next steps. Now, CloudTask helps with the next steps as far as interviews, right? As far as an assignment given to you. So you don't have to, willingly, hey, here's my email and what's that, right? Actually, that would be going against the marketplace protocol. We are the ones that get the interview set up. But what you guys can do is let them know, hey, Mateo, I really like the opportunity. I have 3 more interviews this week. I'd like to make my best decision by, Monday, right? Got to pay the bills, but I also want to choose the best opportunity for me. Are there any next steps? Should I expect another interview? Is there any assignment? You should have that follow-up game, that follow-up process. And again, it's only going to show that it's not your first time to the rodeo and you're not a representative that's just saying yes to the first job. You're actually evaluating what is the best opportunity for you because you're not a job hopper, right? Now, if you guys aren't doing that, I recommend, you guys do. And then also for the assignments, for the assessments, some are longer than others. I'm not going to lie, right? A personality test tends to be a lot quicker. Some others I've seen, hey, send me a first touch email and a follow-up email as you would if you were hired by my company today. But if you guys get an assignment, an assessment, try and get it done as quickly as possible. Quality over quantity for sure, but it's a competition. So if you got an assignment, there's another 3 or 4 candidates that got that same assignment. So you're being evaluated not only on the quality, but also on how timely you could submit that in, right? So even if you're currently working, I get it, you're passively working. Hey, take an hour, take 30 minutes, go to your lunch break real quick and try and finalize it if you really are looking to move quicker. Guys, if you're unemployed, no excuses. All right. You got to make that assignment. You got to get it done immediately. It's a competition. Remember that. I feel that a lot of you guys don't understand that the competition is fierce right now. And that's it. If we don't have any questions, I'm going to share a few more things on what you guys should do to start getting those interviews. And if you get those interviews, what you should do to keep the job, right? So number one, guys, would definitely be finish your profiles. All right. You need to make sure that you have a complete profile. If you guys are, looking for anything, to purchase anything that, you guys need to buy, if the profile has incomplete information, you're going to go look at the competition, right? You're going to go look elsewhere. So if your profile is incomplete, that is one of the main reasons why you're not getting any interview requests. Secondly, if you did your video and you just uploaded it and you didn't even take a look at it, you didn't have a rough draft, second draft, fifth draft, and you just, did the first one or second one and uploaded it, guys, you should go the extra mile, see if there's anything else you could have said that you missed out, right? Any software skills, any type of roles you've had in the past, how many people you've managed, any SOPs that you've created or you've been able to follow through. But make sure that you guys are completing your profiles. Number one, make sure you guys are completing those profiles and you're being very specific within those profiles. If you guys do that, we'll be able to help you get that top rated badge, that top rated plus, and we'll be able to get you in front of more companies. All right. So looking forward to, you know, more candidates joining the marketplace, for you guys striving to get that top rated badge. Remember, it's not just a cool little badge. You're able to apply directly. You're able to be proactive and reach out to the team if you have any questions. All right. Till next time. Have a good one.